En este segmento también we're going to talk about Mi Gente. It is a story, a project that we started here a couple of years ago on domingo-live, where we feature someone in our community, and I'm talking about all cross sections of our community throughout the coastal bend. We've met folks who owned businesses. We went out and spent time at bakeries. We've met all different types of individuals. But in this case, we're meeting a gentleman that is very familiar to many of us here in South Texas in the legal circles. We're going to sit down with a gentleman who is the definition of what I call the statistical miracle. A lot of odds against him, right? He was born in the 50s in one of the poorest barrios in Corpus Christi, where an example of success, in his own words, was simply having running water and a roof over his family's head. Mi Gente delves into the life of a man who was born at a time when most were at a disadvantage because of where they were born, because of the color of their skin and their ethnic background. Today, we learn about the life and success story of one Carlos Valdez.
If you were to ask my mom when she was alive, and a lot of people asked her, how did Carlos do it? How did he go to college? She had no idea. She had no idea.
Carlos Valdez was born in the Molina neighborhood in 1954, an area long considered one of Corpus Christi's most impoverished.
My parents couldn't provide anything, nothing. They couldn't. They had still had some children at home that they had to work real hard to raise, so I was pretty much on my own.
And it was on his own that Carlos worked to become a productive member of his West Side community. He knew he had but one option to make it happen: education.
The beautiful thing about living in this country is the opportunities are there. All you have to do is go out and look for them. And I figured this out a long time ago, so I looked and looked.
He applied for grants, scholarships, and loans to make it through college and then on to law school.
It wasn't easy. I figured out that in this country, if you want to do something, and it's something that's good, and you're willing to make the sacrifices and willing to work hard as possible, you can do it.
Carlos did accomplish what he set out to do. In 1984, becoming the first Hispanic elected to the position of Nueces County Attorney.
The campaign was difficult. It was long back then, and I didn't have any money. I think I spent $4,000 on the first campaign, and I was outspent by a lot.
And you won.
And I won. I won the first time. I was 29 years old.
Then, in 1992, Carlos became the county's first Hispanic district attorney.
And I'll tell you, anytime you are the first person of a different race or whatever to occupy a position, there's an extra pressure on you, because everybody's watching, everybody's looking for the first mistake so that they can point and say, you see.
Valdez served as district attorney from 1993 to 2010, when he retired as the DA and accepted the position of city attorney. In 2018, Valdez was elected to the bench of the 148th District Court in Nueces County. He ran for re-election, but lost, the only time that's happened in his long career.
Look, I lost this election. I lost it myself, and the reason I lost it is because I was unable to convince my supporters who supported me in the past how important it is for them to vote. I was unable to do that.
With more than 40 years of public service, what's next for Carlos Valdez?
Rudy, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the community. The community raised me up. There were many good people who helped to bring me up and guide me in the right direction. I owe a lot to this community.
Even he doesn't know that quite yet.
I don't want to shut any doors.
And he was very candid about not shutting any of those doors. Carlos left the door open that there could still be some political future for him. He shared, many other thoughts about his long tenure in his community service, from the trial of Yolanda Saldívar, which put him on the world stage,
right.
a nivel mundial, ¿verdad? To some of the laws that he helped create and even expand in the state of Texas. Now, there's a lot more to this interview, and it's been uploaded, and it is on our website. And you can watch the entire uncut interview with Carlos Valdez, who talks about everything in his life, talks about the things, his accomplishments, things he wish he could have done, the things that we can do to look for perhaps being a mentor to someone in the future. And you can watch that entire interview uncut on our 3 News Plus app. You have to go to our website, KIITV.com, or go to your apps,
That's right.
either Android
Download
or Apple. You can download it there, your 3 News Plus app, and you can watch the rest of the interview in there. He's got a lot to say.
Interesting. He does. He even wrote a book, right? He even has a
I think
book.
he's wrote a couple of books, I think.
They're available.
And they're available as
Yes.
well. But the thing is that he's got so much to tell and share that young people can be inspired by.
That's right.
Because he did it.
He
made
did.
it. And he went above and beyond, and all the fruits of his labor, well, we can see them now and enjoy them. And still, he wants to continue and is wanting to continue with his community service.
So if you want the entire interview, definitely go out. There's so many different messages that he shares, and one of them is, if I can do it, you can too.
Absolutely.
You know.
Pick 'em up.
So.